Well, hello, kiddos. This is Mr. Pickar, and I'm going to give you the notes for the 4-1 graphing linear equations section right now. What makes a graph linear? Well, hold on a second there. Anything that forms a line. You could pick any 2 points. I'll put a couple points here. If you can draw a line through them, that's basically a linear equation. Now, a couple things you're looking for in that linear equation is the slope, and that's rise over run, and you're also looking for this point right here, the y-intercept. So just remember that slope is rise. Hold on here, try to get fancy. M is your slope, and slope is rise over run. And sometimes they say rise with a y because it's your y values going up and down, and your run is your x values. But basically slope is rise over run. And you got your y-intercept there, that's b. And we're going to talk about slope-intercept form. Of a linear equation, and that's y equals mx plus b, and m is your slope and b is your y-intercept. Okay, so there it is. Slope-intercept form, just remember that m is your slope, and when we figure out slope, we're doing rise over run. And right there, B is your y-intercept. And this linear equation here, y equals mx plus b, that's slope-intercept form. So whenever we talk about slope-intercept form, that's what we're working with. So we're going to write a linear equation for this line right here. And the key is, as the line is going to the right, I'm going to put a little arrow up here. It's going up. So that means my slope is going to be positive. If you had a line that was going down like this, that means your slope is going to be negative. Okay, a couple things to remember there. So I'm going to pick a point, a couple points to find the slope, and I guess I'm going to go with this point right here and this point right here. And what you can do is you can create a right triangle, and that kind of does your rise and run. So I'm going to go with this right triangle right here between these 2 points. I'm going to put a little square there to form that right angle. And it all kind of depends on which point you start with. I'm going to start with this point, so that means I'm going up, and it looks like I'm going up 1, 2. So that's a rise of 2. And you go around the corner and go in this direction, that's a positive 1. So my slope, which is rise over run, is my rise. I'm going up a positive 2, and my run is over 1. Another way we could do it, if you look at this point and this point, I'm going to the right 1 in that direction, and I'm going from that point, I'm going up 2. So once again, rise over run is 2 over 1. Oh, sorry. 2 over 1, and that's equal to 2. So my slope is 2. This point right here is where it crosses the y-axis, and that's -1, 2, that's -3. And that is what my b is equal to. That's your y-intercept. So plugging that in, y equals mx. Well, m, we said, was equal to 2. You could put 2 over 1 there if you want. 2x plus b. Well, b is -3, so I'm just going to say -3. And there we go. We wrote our first linear equation. Kind of working with slope and y-intercept. A couple more here. First of all, my y-intercept, let's look at that. It's right there. That's where it crosses the y-axis, and that is b is equal to 1. Okay? Slope now. You got to find where it crosses the grid nice. Well, it crosses nice right here, and it crosses the grid nice right there. We're going to go in this direction this time, and we're going to go around this corner and go down. So a couple things. That's 1, 2, 3. 3 units going to the right. That's positive 3 for my run. And then going down, starting here, I'm going down 1, 2. Now, excuse me. That's going to give us a rise of -2 because it's going around this direction. So it's going down -2. So my slope now, which is rise over run, my slope is going to equal, my rise is going down, that's -2. And my run is going positive 3. So my slope is -2/3. If you pick a couple different points, like I could pick this point right here and this point right here, and I could go in this direction and go around this corner and go up. Now, starting here and going up 1, 2, that would be a positive 2. But going to the left now, I'm going 1, 2, 3, that's -3. So my rise would be 2, my run would be -3. That'd be 2 over -3. That's a positive 2 divided by a -3. You always put the negative up top, so it'd still be just -2/3. So it doesn't really matter which direction you go in, but you just got to kind of follow that direction the whole way to get your slope right. So if we're looking at y equals mx plus b, then my slope, y equals, what is it? -2/3 x and plus the 1. So that's my linear equation for this line. Okay, this next one. Well, here's my y-intercept right there, and that's at -1, 2, -3. So b, my y-intercept is -3. Slope, if we start with this point, my y-intercept, looks like it crosses the grid really nice right here. So I'm going to go up in this direction and then to the right to create that little right triangle for my slope. So I'm going up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's positive 5 for my rise. And then it looks like 1, 2, 3 plus 3 for my run. So slope, once again, being rise. Now, it's not always rise. Sometimes it's drop, but it's rise over run. It was plus 5 for the rise and plus 3 for the run, so my slope is 5/3. So y equals mx plus b. This is going to give me y equals 5/3 x minus 3. So writing the linear equation again. Over here, a couple more. The linear equation for the line below. We'll do this first one, C here. If you can find that on your notes. They already got it kind of marked. There's my y-intercept, and that's at 2. They have this point right here, but that doesn't really cross the grid well. It does cross the grid really nicely right there. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to go down and then to the right to form my little right triangle there. Now I'm going down 1, 2, 3. So my rise is actually a drop. That's -3. And my run, just this little distance of 1 to the right, that's a positive 1. So slope, rise is -3 over 1. Well, you can just say -3 then. So y equals mx plus b, if it's in that form, well, y equals my slope, which is -3, x. The x isn't my slope, it's just your slope is always in front of x. So -3, x plus 2. Okay. This one's a little bit different in the fact that if you look at it, it crosses at 0, 0. So my y-intercept is just 0. My slope, if I pick the y-intercept in this point, I'm going up 1, and I'm going to the right 1, 2. So rise over run would be my y value, which is 1, rise over 2, so 1/2. And my b is 0. So if you did this, y equals mx plus b, it'd be y equals 1/2 x plus 0. And you could leave it like that, or you don't need to add the 0. You could just say y equals 1/2 x. That would also work. Okay. Now they give us the linear equation, and they want us to actually graph it. Well, if this is in slope-intercept form, and it is because it's solved for y, so y equals mx plus b, that means my m is equal to -3. You want it as a fraction because you want to do rise over run, so that's -3 over 1. So that's rise over run. Sorry, I almost put the sun. So we're going to use that slope in a minute, but first, our b, you can see is right here, is 3. That's the little whole number after the x. You got to graph that point first on the y-axis, not the x-axis. It's a y-intercept, so up 1, 2, 3 right there. And then from that point, not the origin. We don't start at the origin and go down 3 and over 1. We start at our y-intercept. So from here, I'll do it in blue, I'm going to count down 1, 2, -3, and then over a positive 1, because this is a positive 1 right here, okay? And I can do that again from that point down 1, 2, 3 over a positive 1. Or you can do the opposite. You could make this a positive 3 and a -1, but that would be up 1, 2, 3, back a -1. And you can see all these points. I'm making do a little shaky line here. Not the best line, sorry. And it's going down. If you look as it goes to the right, it's going down, and it should because our slope was negative. And that's how you graph these bad boys. Okay, let's do this next one. So y equals mx plus the b. So my slope, which is in front of the x, is 3/2. And my b is just this whole number here. That's -4. You always graph that b first. Let's move this up a little bit. And I'm going to go down on the y-axis, 1, 2, 3, -4. And then kick in the slope from this y-intercept point here. I'm going to go up 1, 2, +3, and then over +1, 2. Up 1, 2, +3, and then over +2. You could do it again. 1, 2, 3, over 1, 2. You could go down 1, 2, 3, and back 1, 2. Make them both negative. And there's our line. Now, as this line goes to the right, you can see it's going up. And that makes sense because my slope is positive. Okay, and if you ever get stuck or I'm kind of going too fast for you, can pause it, rewind it, and watch this video over again. You can also sign up for some office hours or just send me a message and we'll figure out something to try and help you figure this out, explain it. Okay, now it says draw the graph of each linear equation, If it has a slope of 1, or -1, and passes through the point -2, -3. So they're not giving you the y-intercept here. They're giving you a point, which you graph first. That's -2 on the x, -1, 2, 3 on the y. So there's the point, -2, -3. And then the slope is -1. Now, that's -1 over 1 if you write it as a fraction. So let's do the graphing these slope points as red here. Down -1, back. Oh, I'm sorry, down -1, over a positive 1. Down -1 over a positive 1. Or you could switch that around. That's still negative. Positive 1 divided by -1 is still -1. I could go up 1, back 1. Up 1, back a -1. And there's my line. And you can see as it goes to the right, it's going down, and that's because it has a negative slope. If it was positive 1, then that bad boy would kind of be going in this direction. But it's not a positive slope, so we're good like that. Okay, last one, and then I'll let you guys work on your assignment. Graph the point for 1, and it has a slope of 1/2. So we're going to graph this point that it passes through first. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then up 1. There's the point 4, 1. So there's a line that goes through that point 4, 1, and it has a slope of 1/2. So that's up 1 over positive 2. Now, if your slope is equal to 1 over 2, it could also equal -1 over -2, because the negative divided by negative is a positive. So I could go down 1 and then back 2 also. Down 1, back 2. And you can see they all line up. As this line goes to the right, it's going up, and that's because it has a positive slope. And that's pretty much it, I think. Yep. So I'll let you guys do this. You can go on the back of this sheet now. You should have downloaded your note sheet and your worksheet in Notability. Do the notes with me, and then you can work on the back and yourself and finish it up. If you have any questions, send me a message. I'll try and work with you, or you can sign up for office hours. But now you can submit it. When you're done, submit it. When you get done with the back, submit it, and I'll give you a grade for it. And peace out. Boy Scout, we'll see you later.